Hello, everybody. It is noon Central Time, and I am here live to talk to you guys all about imposter syndrome and how you can fight against that and rock out CRNA school and even everything before CRNA school. So, hey, everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. If you cannot stay the whole time, I will put the replay up in a little bit, so don't worry about that. I will post that video later on today. Hello, Nurse Timber. Good to have you here. Welcome. I'll give people a few more minutes to get on, and then we will get started very soon. I'm thankful to all my new followers and everybody who hangs out with me on my 24-hour shifts. My education content I post for you guys. I'm so happy to, have you guys here and have you guys hanging out with me and learning and getting through this crazy CRNA journey together. Hi, Alexa, gorgeous are you, Alicia, William, hello everybody. So glad to have you guys here. Like I did say before, the replay will go up later if you can't stay the whole time. I'll make sure everybody can get the replay. So if you guys have a second, I would love to see who's with me. So if you could just type in if you're an RN or an SRNA, that would be fantastic. And Nurse Timber, you are so welcome. Thanks for hanging. I really appreciate it. So we're going to talk about, like I said, imposter syndrome, and we're going to talk about what it is, what it looks like, how to kind of fight through it, and then what it means for you as CRNAs. And I'll be sharing some of my personal vulnerability things with you guys as well. Alicia, SRNA, awesome. I know you are grinding it out hard. Nurse Timber starting in January. Very nice. Congratulations on getting in. Hi, Alexa. Good to have you here. RN, yes. Hi, medical science. Thanks for... I know, I got to get back to you. I promise I will. I promise. Okay. TICURN, very nice. Yeah, I know, girl. I know. It's okay. You'll make it through. I've been there. Alicia gave me the little, the sad face as an SRNA. It's rough, but you'll make it through. And I will tell you guys, so I'll start off just by saying in general, so imposter syndrome. I've been a CRNA for like 3 years now. I have wanted to do what I'm doing now for 3 years. Like I've wanted to do mentoring and make master classes and share content. And I kept starting to do it. And then I would be like, I can't do it. Like I can't do it. Like I suck. No one cares. No one's going to want to know. I can't do this. And so literally for 3 years, I've had all this stuff that I'm finally releasing now that I never did because I was in my own head. I was like, no one cares. And yeah, so here I am, finally just putting myself out there. So if I can do it, you guys can do it too. And I'm also gonna tell you guys about a super kind of butt clenching moment, I call it, that happened to me right when I got out of school. Some of you, you might know a little bit about it if you are on my email list, and I share with you guys all the stories and stuff like that I go through to help you guys do better and be better than me. So let's go ahead and get on in. I like to be brief, quick, to the point, jam-packed, because I know you guys are super busy, and I'm really happy that you guys are spending some time with me today. So first of all, quick question. Those of you who are SRNAs and have been to clinical, or maybe your first day of like anesthesia school, tell me, hi John, how are you? Tell me, did you look around and think that you maybe not have belonged there? Like, did you think in your head, like, man, like these people are smart, they're better than me, I don't think I belong here? Or you have a super rough day at clinical and you're literally just like, I suck. Like, why am I even here? Why am I doing this? I'm not cut out for this. I'm never gonna make it. Or maybe you're an RN and you want to become a CRNA, you want to get into school, and you get rejected from your first application and you're like, oh, that's it, throw in the towel, I'll never get into school. So many people are better than me, or my friend got in, she's better than me, or this person didn't and they're better. I don't even have half the resume they do. whatever, or you didn't make it into your dream school and all of a sudden you're like an idiot, or you didn't get the best grade on the GRE. My GRE score was no bueno, and I still got in and did okay. Or maybe you didn't get the test grades you wanted in the class or on the paper, and you're just like, well, you know what, forget it. I'm dumb, I suck, I'm so mad, like I will see you later, and you down talk yourself, right? Anybody? And then you get this terrible attitude, and then everything else just falls apart, right? Anybody? Anybody is what Alicia? Yes. PTSD during first clinical experience. Yes. Same here. I had the same type of issues. So all these thoughts that I didn't get into school, or I suck at clinical, I can't believe I wanted to be a CRNA, or, oh, my test score wasn't good enough. All these crazy thoughts that we tell ourselves is actually what's called imposter syndrome. It's thoughts and it's feelings that you tell yourself, right? And the crazy part about this is we literally allow these thoughts to dictate our life, dictate how our days go, and dictate the patterns, right, that we go through in life. And then we allow other people to dictate that to us as well. So you had a nurse in the OR yell at you or rush you along, or a friend tells you like, oh, you're gonna apply for CRNA school, or you really think you can do that? Like, then we let people tell us that and further hammer these crazy thoughts home that aren't even true. Alexa says, all these thoughts are going through my head. Yes.
Sorry, I didn't
Gorgeous.
catch that.
Oh, sorry,
my
Alexa started talking to me. I was like that entering nursing school. It was so, yep. Gorgeous are you. You know better now.
Sorry,
Good.
I
Awesome.
didn't catch that. Can you say it again?
Oh my God. Alexa, I'm talking to you, and my Alexa app keeps saying, Alexa, stop. Sorry, she keeps talking to me.
I don't know that.
Oh my God. Okay. Anyways, so who are these people who are you, number one, to beat yourself down? And number two, who are these people, a surgeon, a nurse, a friend, to tell you that you're not good enough or you're not qualified, right? And even when you're in anesthesia school, or even when you get, I know it's funny, right? Even when you get, criticism or some type of feedback, like that does not dictate who you are and who you will become, okay? You're in clinical to learn. You're going through the application to honestly prepare you for what's gonna happen down the line when you become an SRNA, right? So it's okay, and that's a big part of emotional intelligence, right? Emotional intelligence. Accept it, accept the criticism, accept it, and keep it moving, right? So really quick, I wanna ask you guys, is there anybody that, I'll start to kind of like, like an AA meeting, does anybody else want to say, a moment where they felt this imposter syndrome, where they were beating themselves down, like self-doubt, I'm a fraud, who am I to be here, why am I here, I'm inadequate, I don't deserve the success, I don't deserve this accomplishment, I'm unworthy, I don't belong. Anybody else have like a specific situation or anything they want to share? So I'll tell you guys some of my stuff here. So I'll tell you what, I think this all the time. I do 24-hour shifts, right? You guys follow along with me all the time. I will tell you what, there are so many times I'm sitting there and I'm like, why am I here? So I'm the only anesthesia CRNA in the hospital. Why am I good enough to be here? Like, why isn't somebody else here? Like, I can't do this. I can't do these cases. I can't think through this. And I will literally go through this in my head. And then I get out of my call room, I get to the patient, and I'm like, you know what? I can do this. I trained for this. I can do this. I can make it. But I'm telling you, imposter syndrome all the time, even as a CRNA, especially when I'm on call by myself. Let's see, KT says, applying the second time to CRNA school after being waitlisted, but got in the second time. Excellent, because you kept going. You fought through it. You kept going. Arrhythmia Ash, the first day of every new job. Same here. I bounce around. I do 1099 anesthesia work. I'm constantly bouncing around to different hospitals. And every time I go somewhere new, same doubts fill my head. And I'm sitting there like, the nurses are gonna hate me. The surgeons are gonna hate me. I suck. Oh my God, it's terrible. I do this whole dance in my head. So I definitely hear you, Ashley, because I do the same exact thing. And then you end up literally being totally fine. Hello, love, EJW, good to see you. So let's talk about some celebrities that have this problem. Lady Gaga, superstar, whatever, she says that she still feels like a loser kid and she has to literally pick herself up and like push herself through to become the superstar that she thinks she is. Natalie Portman went to Harvard. She said she didn't feel like she deserved to be there. And Tom Hanks said this, which I love. No matter what we've done, there comes a point where you think, how did I get here? When are they going to discover that I am, in fact, a fraud and take everything away from me, right? So celebrities think this. I think this. Let's see, what else did you guys say? Alicia says, I feel like this with every exam. Yep. Miss Cass, I'm going to say Miss Cass. I feel this as a travel nurse at every new assignment. Yes, I did travel nursing too. Same exact thing. I was like, what the heck? And Renew said, yes, before applying to CRNA school and not feeling good enough to apply. Yes, you guys, this is what I'm talking about. All these things. I'm not good enough to get in. My score, my exam score was terrible. I can't do this. Yes, KT, thank you. We are only human. Keep going. We got this. Absolutely. And this is what we're going to kind of dive in and talk to today, right? And then, so Ariana Huffington said this, and I love this. She said, I wish someone would invent a tape recorder that we could attach to our brains to record everything we tell ourselves. So I want you guys to think about that. Everything you're telling me of these situations where you felt like not good enough, what are you actually telling yourself? And what if you literally could put that up to your JBL speaker or put it on your I don't want to say her name because she'll start talking to me again. Put it on your speaker system or whatever, put it on your car radio. What would you be saying to yourself? Would you be like horrified? Because I'm telling you, I'm trying to get in shape from having a baby. If I put my thoughts, it would be like, oh, you're fat and ugly. You don't look good enough. But like all this crazy stuff, like get out of here. No one wants to hear that stuff, right? Like what would your tape recorder be saying to you? How horrible, like would it sound? Would you be embarrassed, right? Like, I don't want people to know the negative stuff I think about myself. It's terrible. I do this only with dating. That's so funny. Let's see, Rally Alley, starting my 3rd semester of CRNA school and I'm terrified of starting clinical. Absolutely. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today. I'm going to tell you guys kind of what happened to me when I got out, and we're going to talk about ways that we can kind of push past imposter syndrome. So yes, clinical is super daunting and, terrifying, whatever, but it's completely doable, and you're going to do some positive self-talk and you're going to trust who you are as a nurse to get you through. Hi, Crystal. Good to see you. This girl has been moving like crazy. Chris G CRNA. If you don't follow her. She's awesome. Got tons of great information for you guys. Okay. So you guys doing okay? Appreciate your guys' pitching in. Cause yeah, this is exactly why I want to talk to you guys about this. So another thing I will say about imposter syndrome is it's very prevalent when you are changing roles. It's common in high academic environments, and it's common in high achiever perfectionism folks, which I'm going to assume is a lot of you guys. I suffer really bad from being a perfectionist. I always want to be better than myself and push myself and be the best. And if it's not perfect, then, it's that I suck and the whole world's over, right? That's what I suffer from. So these are the type of personalities, which is a lot of anesthesia personalities, where you do see this imposter syndrome at. Especially all the way from RN to becoming a competent ICU RN, to the application process, to the interview, to becoming an SRNA, getting through school. And then guess what? You got to become a CRNA and push past all the stuff, all your first job jitters and stuff like that when you become a new CRNA. And the thing is that imposter syndrome is going to feed on this discomfort. Like, you're terrified. Like she just said, I'm terrified of going to clinical. It feeds on that. It feeds on being uncomfortable, and it overtakes you. And if you don't have things to put in check and to put in place, it will literally destroy your progress, and it'll destroy your growth and your spirit. And literally, we have got no time for that. What did Chris say? Yep, imposter syndrome is real even once you change settings, locations, etc. And this is a very experienced CRNA, guys. So I'm telling you, it's real. So that's why we are going to know what this is, figure out why it's happening to you, and you guys are going to work on it and fix it once we get off this talk. All right. And I'll say one more thing about clinical stuff. Anytime you make progress as you're moving through the continuum from RN to CRNA, right? You have more responsibility. You're going to have more expectations, and you're going to be more visible, okay? And just like Crystal said, this does not change. This does not change once you're a CRNA, all of a sudden everything's better. This is going to be consistent as you move throughout your career. So you've got to be able to, handle it. And in anesthesia school, in clinical, you're learning in public, right? You are in a room probably, the most naive person in the room, the newest person in the room to that environment. You're with techs, surgeons, nurses that have probably been doing this longer than you, unless you've got, a room full of residents or something like that. But you're literally on display for everybody to see. And sometimes it does. It feels awful. And you will sit there and beat yourself up when in reality, guys, it's not that bad. You probably did fine. You were just nervous. You know what I mean? You got to get out of your heads and you got to trust your training. And we're going to talk more about that in a second. We always say, fake it till you make it, right? And then you make it, you become a CRNA, and then what? Then what happens, right? Once you become a CRNA, everything is not going to be perfect. Like we said, you're still going to have doubts, you're still going to get nervous, and you're still going to feel not good enough. So we have got to get a handle on this, all right? Let's see, you guys doing okay? I see lots of little hearts and stuff. You guys are awesome. I'm so glad to have you guys here. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a quick little story, and then we are going to jump into what we can do to kind of help get you guys through this. Crystal says, if y'all think I'm not scared being in a totally new state about to start a new job, then you're wrong. But my excitement is outweighing my fear. I'm ready to learn in this phase. You'll never know everything. So I'm meant to say, like, you'll never know everything. Exactly. So she's a perfect example. She was in Boston. She now moved to North Carolina. She's an experienced CRNA, and she's essentially kind of starting over again. And guess what? She's nervous, but she's excited, right? She's excited for the new possibilities. She's probably gonna learn new techniques. She's gonna make new friends. She's gonna grow. Is she probably gonna, make a few mistakes, get lost? Maybe she won't have the most perfect anesthetic, whatever. And that's fine, but she's excited. That's all part of growth and learning and becoming an even better CRNA. And you guys are trying to become SRNAs and CRNAs. So all this stuff is gonna happen. And it's fine. You're gonna make mistakes. You're making progress. That's the point. So let me tell you guys about what happened to me when I first got out. I had been a CRNA for about 6 months, and I was just kind of getting in my groove. I was feeling competent. I was in a very kind of autonomous situation. So I was doing a case. It was like 7, 8 o'clock at night, and the physician that I was with was like, okay, you're fine here. I'm gonna go start another case in another room. I said, okay, fine. I said, no problem. So bye, Crystal. Thank you so much. And she says one more thing. When you're in your comfort zone, you don't grow. Awesome. Thank you, Crystal. I love it. So anyways, the attending went to start a case in the other room. And I said, I got this. I can do this. They were closing. We were about to wake up. So I go to wake up the patient, and everything's fine, right? I give him his reversal. He's intubated. He's picking his head up off the thing. He's squeezing, my hands. Everything looks beautiful. Vitals look good. So I pull the tube. Awesome. Put a face mask on him. And I said, okay, let's get him moved over to the bed and get out of here. Okay. Literally, kid you not, he coded. Like, boom, just like that. And at first I'm sitting there like, this isn't happening. This isn't happening. This isn't happening. I'm like, literally, I always call it a butt clutching moment when this stuff happens. I'm like, no, this isn't happening. This isn't real. Oh, what did I do? What did I do? I did something wrong. Oh my God, I'm the worst CRNA. I did something wrong. And I'm all up in my, right? In these seconds this is happening, I'm like freaking out. And I look up, and there was a medical student, a medical resident, and a nurse. And I look up, and everyone's looking at me. Like, everyone's just looking at me, like anticipation on give them something to do, give them guidelines on what to do. And I'm like, in my head, you suck, you killed him, what did you do? You did something wrong, you da-da-da-da. And I went through that for a second, and then I saw all these little eyes on me, and I was like, you know what? This is why I train. This is why I work so hard. This is why I was up all night, studying. This is why I took pay cuts. This is why I did all these things in my career, because I needed to be able to trust my training, right? So I jumped right into action, re-intubated him, got the code card, put the backboard underneath him. We started compressions. We got a round of epi in. You called for help. Then we had reinforcements in. But the point is, I handled it. I didn't want to at first because I was freaking out. I was all up in my head because I was making it about me. What did I do? I suck. Dude, nobody cares, right? It's about the patient. It's always about that patient who is in front of you and who is vulnerable, right? but I trusted my training. I trusted that I worked hard. I trusted that, you know what, I trust myself now. If I need help, I'm gonna ask for it. Because during school and during my nursing career, I left nothing on the table, right? You guys are, your job, if you're an RN wanting to be an SRNA, your job is to become the best nurse you can be, right? And if you're an SRNA right now, you get in clinical and you work that little butt off, right? Take the criticism, take the scariness, take the uncomfortableness of it all, because one of these days you're gonna be at the head of the bed, and it's gonna be your skills, your unique skill set, your unique opportunities that somebody is going to need. It doesn't matter what Susie, Betty, Joe, whatever, it doesn't matter what anyone else is doing around you. You have your own nursing experiences, and you are going to have your own experiences in anesthesia school, and that is what's going to make you into an amazing, competent CRNA one day, right? Because it's going to be you guys, okay? Anyone have a similar situation, a critical situation that happened where at first you made it all about you, and then you were like, wait a second, like, let me get my life together. Let me take care of the situation, right? Anybody? And I'll give you some other examples too. So pre-op is gonna call you. You're gonna get calls from pre-op as a CRNA. Hey, this is going on with the patient, what do we do? And it's going to be your call. It's gonna be your critical thinking to figure it out. PACU is gonna call you. Hey, this is going on with the patient, or can I give this medication, or this is happening, and it's going to be you. You're the one gonna be in charge, making these decisions, making these hard choices, right? And you're gonna be tempted to get in your head and play with this imposter syndrome. Like, I can't do this. Why me? What did I do wrong? It's my fault. Or you can make it about the patient, right? You can make it about the patient, and you can trust that you worked your little butts off to get to where you are, that you can handle, and that you can do this job, handle these situations, be a good CRNA. But you have to walk through fire, you have to be refined, and you have to be uncomfortable in order to get there. Because if you're not, there's gonna be no progress to be made, right? How you guys doing? You guys doing okay? Is this making sense? We're getting closer. We're gonna talk about what we can do to fight imposter syndrome, and I'm gonna leave you with a few little nuggets. So you guys okay? Doing good? Let me get water really quick. So, in anesthesia school, and in general, what are some things that you can do to kind of fight through this and combat that? Thank you guys. Thanks, I appreciate it. Hi, PJ Seta, good to see you. Good to see you. So my classmate used to say this all the time. Her name was Bevan. She was my lifeblood, lifeline in SRNA or CRNA school. Get yourself one of those people that you can get through anything with. And she was mine. But she always said we would leave clinical and we would either be crying or laughing, depending on, the day. But she always would say, you know what? Sometimes you just have to pat your own self on the back. You know what? When you intubate that trachea for the first time and no one's cheering, right? You want people to like jump up and down and cheer, and no one is. And you're like sitting there like, oh my God, I'm so awesome. Like, pat your own self on the back, guys. Cheer yourself on, right? Like, you're getting IVs in, or you get your first central line, or you do whatever. Don't look around the room. Just as like, I don't care what other people are saying about you or whatever. Don't look for them for approval when you do something right. Pat your own self on the back, right? Like, you're awesome. You did it. You got a new skill. Use that to carry you through, because tomorrow you might make a mistake and not feel so good, but today you rocked it. So hold on to those things, guys. Kate Winslet, I guess, gets super, super, super nervous before she shoots videos, and she gets all up in her films. She gets all up in her head about like, who would want to watch me on TV? I suck, blah, blah, blah. And she just says, you know what? Nerves are part of the process to become successful. That's it, right? That nervousness, that energy, that whatever, use that, because it's just part of the way to get there, right? And you're going to continue to have to get a little nervous and push past it. So embrace it and just keep going, right? Another thing you can do to combat imposter syndrome. So let me talk to you about the why word, right? The number one question you get on your personal statement and the number one question you get in your CRNA interview is why? Why do you want to be a CRNA? Why are you a nurse? Why did you want to come to this school? Like, why? So why are you guys doing all of this, right? for me, I want to take care of patients. I want to be competent and safe, and I want to take excellent care of patients. I want to connect with my patients. I want to get them through their anesthetic safely. I want to be able to manage that room. This is why I do it. I love helping people. I love, caring for them. I love all the intricate skills. So why are you doing this? Remind yourself why you're in this position in the first place, right? Nobody dragged you and made you come to anesthesia school. You voluntarily signed up for it. And it's hard and it's rough, but why? Why are you here? Don't forget those reasons, right? And what are you really, really afraid of? I know one of you guys said, you're terrified about clinical. What is the reason why? Write that down. Put it in the chat here. Text a friend. There's always like a deeper reason as to why we are really freaking out about something. And if we know what that is, we can usually figure it out. Like, okay, we can talk through it and be like, that's what I'm scared about. That's nothing. I'll be fine, whatever. So try to get down to what about clinical are you so terrified about or so worried about. Another thing is social support. Like you guys coming here on the lives, I have my Facebook page, like that is there for community, right? I want you guys to form relationships with each other, connect with each other, other SRNAs, RNs, CRNAs. Like this is hard. Clinical is hard. Being rejected is hard. But the only way we can keep building confidence and keep pushing through, one of those ways is networking here. So please keep hanging out with me, showing up. I'd love to connect people to other nurses, other SRNAs, because none of you guys are alone here. No one is alone on this crazy, scary anesthesia journey, all right? And that's really what my Facebook page is for. So if you're not there or you don't, you're kind of quiet on it, talk, because I want other people to know, like, you're not alone. We're all going through this together. Every SRNA was an RN trying to get into school, right? And every SRNA has, and everybody wants to be a CRNA at the end of the day, right? So we all have something to share. And I do all this because I want to build you guys up and to build this community so we can all kind of get through this together. All right, let me take a minute here. Let's see. Riley says, amazing. We've all done the butt clench. Yep, the butt clenching moments. They're going to happen to you. Gorgeous are you. Know that you belong exactly where you are. Yes, I love that. That is so perfect. If you didn't get into some school, it wasn't your school. Keep on moving, keep on knocking down doors, right? If you're having a rough day at clinical, it might not be your day. Keep on going. And wherever you are in your journey, that's where you're supposed to be. And if you're in a messy, icky place that you don't like to be, that's fine. Keep freaking going, right? Progress. This is what progress looked like. It's messy, it's exhausting, and it's scary, but it's how you get to the other side. It's how you get to the CRNA, right? And in that same point, becoming an SRNA to a CRNA can be very, very lonely, like super lonely. You're like sitting there and it's like your world is standing still, right? You're surrounded by iPads and $1,200 worth of books and pens and highlighters and pencils, and you're stuck and it feels like everybody else is living their life around you, right? And you start to second guess yourself, right? And let's be honest, we go to social media and we conceal all this imposter syndrome stuff we feel, right? We conceal it. We hide behind these pictures of our beautiful desk setup and how organized we are. Or, I post pictures of me like, oh, yay. And real, I'm like, being a mom is hard. Being a CRNA is hard. Working full time is hard. I want to kill my husband, right? Like we all are really good at hiding all these crazy thoughts we tell ourselves, right? We're all guilty of that. But newsflash, guys, not anyone on social media, not the RN that got into anesthesia school, not the SRNA, not the CRNAs, not the moms, not the dads, not any one of us has it all together, right? We all are suffering from this, right? And we should be connecting and we should be forming bonds based on that, right? We've all been there, we've all felt it, but we've all pushed through, right? KT asked, what is the Facebook group info? So if you go to my bio, the link is in there. I think it's like number 3 or 4 in there, but it's called the Surviving and Thriving SRNA. So join us, check it out. I do more education on there as well and ask fun questions and try to connect you guys all together. Okay, guys, we're getting to the end of this. And then if you guys have any questions or anything for me, feel free to ask. We'll leave some time for that. But have you guys ever heard of that book, The Art of Not Giving Enough? Anyone heard of that book? So let me tell you about it. It's all about imposter syndrome. And this is what this book is going to be, is pretty much saying. Life is not about getting rid of problems. It's about finding better problems. Life is not about avoiding failure. It's about getting better at failure. And it's not about knowing everything, but becoming more comfortable in not knowing everything. And that, in a nutshell, is what anesthesia school is, right? You guys have to get uncomfortable with you don't know everything, right? You don't. And you're not going to, even when you get out. So just get comfortable with sitting in that feeling and knowing that you're not going to know the answer to every preceptor's question. You're not going to be able to, know all the surgeons and do exactly what they want you to do. And that's okay, right? At your interviews, your applications, grinding through tests, like you have to come into terms with the fact that there's going to be inevitable, unimportant imperfections that are going to happen. And all you have to do is keep moving past them and through them, right? That whole book is it's a lot about learning how to give a F about what actually matters and letting go of what doesn't. And that actually is a lot of emotional intelligence as well. All right, KT is gonna came out on Facebook, and he said he read that book for the second time. Good book, great. Yes, it is a very good book. PJ said, I honestly think that's a huge part of imposter syndrome. Kids that may or may not be put on, it's like, man, I'm nowhere near that. Absolutely. Exactly, absolutely. All right, you guys doing okay? We're almost done. So let's go back to that. The ups and downs are important to see. I agree. The ups and downs are exactly what is important to see. Yes, read that book. It's a great book, especially before starting anesthesia school. There's an emotional intelligence book I can't think of that's good, and then that book is good. So, because mind, guys, mind over matter. It's all about getting your mind right. So let's think of the things right now that really truly matter, okay? So we don't care what so-and-so said that, oh, you took too long and oh, her intubation sucks and you're never gonna get it. No one cares about that. No one cares about the crazy stuff you tell yourself in your head either, right? What matters? What matters is you woke up, you got out of bed, and you went back to clinical, right? What matters is you got your little butt out of the car and you went into clinical and you tried again, okay? What matters is you got rejected from this school. Guess what? You applied to 5 more and you kept it going, right? If you're a parent and you have kids and you feel like you're missing out on all the big things in their life and all the things you should be doing, you know what? You're actually showing your kids to work hard for your dreams, and that's okay. Even if for the moment you feel like you're terrible and you're a bad parent, what's the big picture, right? What are you going to do? What are you showing your children that you can make it, that you can push through, right? Your patient, maybe you had a patient had a bad outcome and they passed away, but you gave it your all, right? You tried, you got in there, you took care of them, you did everything you could do for them, right? And you know what's a win for me? Is I'm gonna tell you guys, there are some days surgeons screaming at me, the nurse is driving me crazy, she's like, hurry up, me, and they're like yelling at me, whatever. But you know what? If I leave my 24-hour shift or my 8-hour shift, and I know that every single one of my patients made it home to go have dinner with their family, that's a win, guys. That's a win. That's the job. Your job is to keep these patients safe. It doesn't matter what anybody else has to say or all the noise, or your patients get to go home and have dinner with their families at night. That is a freaking win. Let me see where you guys are at. The title of the book is I think The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F. Or The Art of Not Giving an F, by I think it's Mark Manson, something like that writes that. Oh, thank you, Sasha Fiercely. Thank you guys. Let me see. And there's another, let's see, You Are a Badass, as you're saying, that's another book too. That's a good one. Perfect. I love it, guys. Sharing your stuff. You Are a Badass. And that one is good too. Perfect. All right. Almost done. So once again, I'm just going to try to hammer some points home to you guys, all right? Because you guys are freaking awesome. I don't care what anybody says or what you tell yourself. But you're here to play big, right? Anybody who wants to be a CRNA, anybody, who wants to get to the other side or get somewhere, you want to play big, right? You want to play in the big leagues. Being a CRNA is not an easy road the last time I checked, right? Hi, Griff. Griff was actually my classmate in anesthesia school. He could probably tell you some really crazy things about me. But anyways, anesthesia school, like I said, it's hard. You want to play in the big leagues. You want to play big. You cannot pretend your way through anesthesia school, right? You cannot pretend your way through an application, right? If you get to an interview, if you get to CRNA school. Like, you're okay. You can't fake that. Like, you made it. You're competent. You're good, right? One of the toughest parts, I think, when you're suffering through anesthesia school, when you're suffering through a rejection or something like that, the hardest part is believing that something good can actually come out of it, especially when you're just stuck in the thick of it, right? But if you want to play big, if you want that master's or that doctorate degree, if you want to be the one on call at that hospital by yourself, the one that when nobody can get an IV, they're calling anesthesia. When nobody can get that intubation, they're going to be calling anesthesia. When nobody can get that central line or that midline, they're going to be calling you. When nobody can figure out what's going on, they're calling you, guys. Like, this is the job. This is the career. This is what you are going to be doing. You have to work hard and you have to push through all this stuff. Delayed gratification in this setting is the biggest blessing you can ask for because it's going to prepare you for what's to come, all right? No one here is a fraud. You guys are all good enough, and I'm telling you right now, there is enough room for every single one of you at the CRNA table, all right? You guys are all welcome to have a seat. We all, as CRNAs, are having, having the doubts and stuff like that, but the only reason I'm here is because I just kept going, and I just kept pushing, and I fought through it, right? Mark Batterson says, if you aren't willing to put yourself in crazy situations, you'll never experience the awesome moments. And that is so true, guys. So, so true. So what I want you to do is talk nicely to yourselves. I want you to play nice with others, even if they're rude to you. That's emotional intelligence. And I want you to own your place in your cohort. I want you to own your application, own your interview, no matter what happens, own your story. And I want you guys to keep going, okay? The only imposters are the idiots telling us we aren't good enough, the stupid voice in your head trying to beat you down. And when it's hard, I always say this to everybody, when it's super hard, when you are struggling up a hill, when you are uncomfortable and when you're tired, I promise you that means you're on the right path and you're doing something right. The day in that hospital when I thought that patient, like when he coded on me and I freaked out, I'm a brand new baby CRNA, blah, 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 blah. Guess what? 2 days later, that patient walked out of that hospital alive. They did an M&M on me, a morbidity mortality meeting. I got ripped to shreds. I got thrown under the bus. It was awful, but I did my job. I stayed calm. I stayed cool. I trusted my training. I trusted my ICU critical care background. I went through the fire. I got yelled at multiple times as an SRNA and a CRNA. And that man is still alive, right? I fought through those insecurities, right? And one of these days, it's gonna be one of y'all at the head of the bed, calling the shots, making the decisions. And right now, how you're feeling, it's okay. Welcome it, embrace it, because it's going to make you better and it's going to make you an amazing CRNA at the end of the day. So are you guys up for the challenge of getting better? Are you guys up for the ugliness and the hard road? Because that's it. This is it. This is how you become a CRNA, and this is how you get through all the things that happen on the other side of the coin once you get there, guys. All right. So who is up for the challenge, and did you guys learn anything, and how are we doing? Let's see. Thank you, Nurse Timber. Go big or go home. That's right. We know it's so hard to quiet our mind from all the self-doubt. It is. It is almost impossible to quiet your mind. But like I said again, trust where you are. And I think someone said that too. Like, you are where you are, where you're meant to be, you are. Sorry guys, I can't talk. Trust in that. Trust that you're in the exact place that you need to be in that moment. And yes, it is hard to quiet your mind, but you know what? Once again, you're not an idiot. You can't fake competence. You can't fake getting this far. When you're in clinical, you know what you know, and you don't know what you don't know. Learn. It's okay. If you make a mistake, keep going, learn from it, talk about it. Come to my Facebook page or me, decompress. Let's chat about it, right? And yes, let's do it. Yes. Thank you, Alicia. You rock it out, girl. He said me. Christy. Thank you, guys. Trust the process. Absolutely. Trust the process. I always say you're entering, you're rocks, right? You're rocks as an RN. And you just keep getting refined, and then you come out like a diamond and you're ready to handle just about everything. If anesthesia school is one of the hardest things you've ever done, then God love you. That's a blessing, because you are going to be an even better CRNA. I promise you. Good, Ashley. I'm so glad to hear that. Miss Cass says, it's so helpful to hear all of this. Looking forward to the journey and challenges. Yes. Carolyn, this is great advice, especially since I start CRNA school in a week's time. Woo, congratulations. So really quick, congratulations to all of you who are already in school. Those of you that are RNs working towards it, again, keep going. I'm excited for you guys. Keep tweaking things. Put yourself in hard situations. Ask to be charge nurse. Ask to precept. Get on committees. Ask for the really acute hard patients assignments. And those of you travel nursing was probably the best thing I ever did for my career because it makes you flexible and it gets you used to being in, new scary situations. So if you bounce around a clinical and stuff, like bounce around at different clinical sites, you're like, okay, well, I did that as a nurse. So same thing. I can do it again, right? Riley Alley said, let's go do the work. We're all glad we're not alone feeling like this. Absolutely not. You guys are not alone. And I think I have an email, those of you on my email list, I have an email coming out, I think in the next couple weeks about like not feeling alone and the other side and stuff like that. So I'm the same way, guys. Like I said, sometimes when I'm on call, I get called for something and I'm like, but then I'm like, no. I trained for this. I worked for this. Let's see. Thank you. Working towards it. Oh, thank you so much. Good. I'm so glad you guys learned about imposter syndrome. I start travel next week with toddlers. Gorgeous, you go, girl. You can do this. You got this. Yes, that's why I started travel nursing. Yep, absolutely. It's great. You don't have to have the experience as a travel nurse, but it definitely does help you in anesthesia school. I want to address it and become more adaptable and be pushed out of my comfort zone. Absolutely. So nurses, that's your job right now. If you want to be a CRNA and get into school, that is your job, is to get uncomfortable, take that scary job, take those scary assignments, advocate for your patients, and just hone up those skills. And if you're an SRNA now, you're gonna keep going. It's gonna be okay. No one's gonna come home with you at the end of the day. All those little nasty, icky people you gotta deal with, no one's gonna come home with you at the end of the day. Learn what you need to learn, apply it, brush it off, shake it off, and keep on walking, right? That's it. That's the only way you get to have those 4 letters behind your name. It's the only way you do it. You just got to keep walking through and start being nice to yourself. Say nice things to yourself. You're fine. You guys are experienced nurses. You guys are amazing already. You're fine. PJ says, get comfortable being uncomfortable. Amen to that. That's pretty much what it comes down to, right? And it starts with the application process and interview process because those are super uncomfortable moments and you're just going to keep escalating through there. But the thing is, as a CRNA now and going through all that, it gets easier. It gets easier to kind of push past those doubts and insecurities and everything like that. Alicia says, 5th semester, single mom, you can do it, guys. Absolutely. Single mom. I was in a clinical cohort with a single dad, also a single mom, and they rocked it. It doesn't matter. No excuses. You guys can do this. Start getting uncomfortable. And when you find yourself in icky messes and things are pretty ugly, literally, that means you're on the right track. That's all that means. That's it. Those obstacles, all those things, is someone sees you, when the devil's coming for you, right? They're putting all that stuff in your path, and you got to keep going because it means you're on the right track to something big, playing big, right? Alicia, you need to be my friend. Yes, connection. Guys, connect. I love this. This is exactly why I do this. I like to give you guys education so you guys can be amazing at clinical, but I also really want you guys to chat with each other because not a single one of us is, perfect. We're all a work in progress. We're all trying to get on. Sasha Fiercely, you are not too old. I don't want to hear that. That's not an excuse either. Anybody can do this, right? All right, any other last minute questions? And I'm going to let you guys go. I am so thankful you guys spent a little time with me in the middle of the day. I totally appreciate it. So thank you guys so much. Any other questions or anything you guys want to say before we go? Oh, thanks, Leisha. Let's see. Timmy says, what's your favorite type of case? Man, that's a hard one. I love doing general surgery. A good general surgery day is good. I like doing ENT because it's challenging because you're sharing the airway. And I love doing ortho because I like doing nerve blocks. I like poking people with things. Yes, Sasha, you're welcome. Laughing. Any other questions? But really, I like giving all kinds of anesthesia. It's kind of like you go in for the day, you see what you have to do, and then you're just like, all right, it's that kind of mood. That's the mood for the day. That's what we're doing. You're welcome, PJ. You're welcome. And your page is awesome. I've actually been meaning to shout you out on my Instagram because you're like doing the damn thing. PJ said it. Follow him. Awesome. You're welcome. You're welcome, Timmy. No problem. Anybody else? Any other questions? You're welcome, Ashley. Ashley's amazing. She's travel nursing right now. Tons of ICU experience. She's going to be an SRNA soon. I'm excited to see it. Erica's going to be an SRNA soon. That's all I know. Miss Cass is going to be an SRNA soon. I'm excited to watch you guys grow. Anything else? Anything? Get some more water. You're so welcome. Christy, congratulations to you. Christy just got into a program. Congrats to her. We're excited for you. Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much. You guys are the best. Hang out with me, message me, chat with me. And I've got some really exciting things coming up in the next like 2 to 3 weeks for you guys. So stay tuned. And like I said, I'm always feeling a little, impostery sometimes. So we're all in this together and you guys can do it. And I cannot wait to watch you guys become CRNAs. I'm excited. The profession needs you and we will welcome you with open arms. All right. Okay. All right. Bye everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Enjoy it. I got to go be a mom now. Okay. All right. Bye guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.